Okay, do you want me to go first or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, my premise is that Maki is it's more probable for Maki to beat Hikari than vice versa. That was your premise.
Okay, my premise is that, well, no, not my premise. My position is that Hikari would most likely beat Maki in a fight.
Okay. Do you want me to start or do you want us to go?
That's what I asked you earlier. I can start first.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so Arame speed blitz to Maki, Hikari skills to Arame. So given that, I think Hikari would
Okay,
just
hold on.
beat up
You,
Maki
you could just go
and
for my point. You don't
would
have
be
to
stronger
shotgun.
than her in all stats.
You don't have to shotgun. You go
It's
point
not a
by point.
shotgun.
What's a shotgun then?
The shotgun is when you try to overwhelm your opponent with so many points and you don't give them the opportunity to respond to all of
Okay
those
then.
points.
So then
I'll
that's
literally write down
literally
all
then.
of
You
those
said
points
multiple
and allow
points.
you to respond to all of them. And let me
Okay,
finish
that's
what I was
fine, but
speaking.
you did shotgun because you said multiple points, like repeatedly in a quick succession as a shotgun. We could go
No,
over
it's
if
not a
Maki if you're
shotgun. What? I just gave you the
Okay,
criteria. If I'm
it doesn't
allowing
matter.
you to
It doesn't
respond to all
matter. It
those
doesn't
arguments,
matter.
it's not a
Okay,
shotgun.
go ahead. Go ahead. You could send them all, right? We could start at one point, and then we could reach to the end. All right. But let's start with the Uriume blitzing Maki. Speed blitzing Maki.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fine?
Yeah, Rame speed blitz
Okay.
Maki.
So, what is a speed blitz?
Speed blitz is just when, in a normal situation, one character gets hit with an attack or a projectile, which was too fast for them to dodge or defend against.
Okay, I don't really agree with that.
Why?
I think I think that as a different definition, I feel like it would be best if we just appeal to one off Google
So why don't you agree with my definition?
because it's not linear to the one I'm familiar with or the one that's on Google.
Is there an issue with it or you just don't like the definition?
I mean, I think I just explained myself.
That doesn't answer the question.
I
You
think
said
it
you're not
does.
familiar with it. I'm asking you, do you like the
I think
definition?
it's
Do you have an
not.
issue with it? Or are you just
I mean, I
preferring some other
don't like the
definition?
I don't like your definition of it. We could just go by
But
this
you don't you
definition.
don't see any inherent issue with it?
I just said I did.
You do see an inherent issue with it. What's the issue?
I just don't think that's the definition of what a speed blitz is.
Yeah, why?
Because the one I'm familiar with and the one I could find on Google is this one. So I just assume that this is,
The
the
attack of
definition of
attacking their
speed
opponent
blitz.
before they are capable of
I
perceiving or
mean,
reacting to them. Blitzing is different than outpacing, where a character is simply faster than another. Yeah, the problem is with this though. So you could say like I don't
it's honestly not
know.
even worth
You could say
debating. It's
off
just
guard
terminology.
you could say well no, under this definition you could say off guard characters get like speed blitzed by other characters just because like
No,
they don't react in time. That's the problem. So that's why I
not
added the
really.
standard scenario thing. So basically my definition is just versus battle wikis, but I add like the additional part of the definition that everyone uses, which you are familiar with.
I mean, we can add that it's on guard, but it's not really deep. It's just
Not just on
terminology.
guard, normal situation too. You have to see normal situation. Because you can be on guard and then you get hit with like 5,000 attacks, and then I'm not gonna see you got speed blitzed. That's stupid.
Uh-huh. So in a normal situation, a normal combative situation, they get hit with attack that they aren't capable of perceiving or reacting to.
Reaction would be perception speed thing. Like it would be a perception speed blitz. FYI. But yeah,
You're kind of lost, but it's cool.
how am I lost? I'm telling you that you wouldn't just say like perception blitzing someone is a speed blitz. You would say perception blitz because that's a different thing.
This is still a type of speed blitz.
It doesn't matter. It's different.
That- It's literally a type of blitz. It falls under umbrella term
Sure,
speed
it's a
blitz.
type of speed blitz, but this is a relevant
Regardless,
thing.
this is irrelevant. Yeah, it's just terminology. We already
No,
defined
it's
the word.
completely relevant. This literally is like debater 101 for versus battles. Like, this is relevant.
Why is this relevant to who wins, Maki or Akari?
Because you can say like one character got speed blitzed, but they're able to like.
Okay.
Well, no, you could say like one character can perceive another character even if they get speed blitzed. So like, I don't know, you
That
can make
doesn't
some
tell
weird
us
argument
who
off of
wins
that.
between Maki and Hikari. It's
Okay,
just the
what if
terminology
you
we're
said some
using
shit?
throughout the
What if you
debate.
said some shit
I
like
don't
Maki
think.
can perceive Hakari,
Oh my
but would get
goodness!
like speed blitz and then would literally just like hold him and then stab him with soul split katana while she gets like attacked?
Did I say
What if you
that?
said
Did
that?
I say that?
I
Did I
said
say
what if.
that? No.
I said what if. I didn't say you said
If I
that.
said that, that would be a part of an argument that's important, right? This is just
That's
terminology.
why I brought up
We
the what
already
if.
asserted the
That's why it's
terminology.
important.
You're meta debating.
Yeah, I'm literally meta debating. I'm literally laying out the
Yeah, no.
foundation for the
You're debating
debate.
on something
There's no
that's
problem
useless.
with meta debating, unless it's
You're
like not
debating something
conducive
that's
towards the debate continuing.
it's not conclusive to debate.
I
I
didn't say
already said
conclusive. I said
we can
conducive.
go
It's conducive.
we can go off the definition just being that in a normal combative situation, when the person, the victim, is not able to react or perceive the person attacking. There's no issue with that.
1 second.
Okay. So now
Responding to chat.
let's go into Urame versus Maki. When does Urame speed blitz Maki?
Maki speed blitz is Aram. No, vice versa. Arame speed blitz is Maki. When Arame
It's
uses maximum
Urame.
output frost
Just in this
calm on Maki. Shut up. And the attack is so fast to where Maki, while on guard in a normal circumstance, he's incapable of avoiding the attack that Arame
you send the
shoots
scan.
onward out to her. Yeah, I can send it, but you gotta let me finish talking.
What's the point? I don't know if you're talking about is real. You just send the scan and argue off it.
Yeah, I'm arguing off of the scan. I just contextualize the
Well,
scan.
where is it?
Let me finish talking, and then I'm gonna send you the panel.
Okay, send the panel because you're arguing on something I'm not sure if it even exists.
Okay, then you could have just nicely said, "Please don't fucking talk about the panel until you send the panel." Don't just cut me off and then say send the
I
panel.
think I was saying it in a nice tone. Just go get it.
No, you didn't. Fuck.
Let's see. And why is this a speed blitz?
I've already explained that.
No, you haven't.
So you didn't pay attention. I'll repeat it once and
I
only
just
once.
dismissed it because you were
I don't.
talking about something that was irrelevant.
Yeah, that's
I
not
already
how
brought
that
up
works.
something.
If I'm
For
giving an
example,
argument and I'm telling you to let me finish, I finish giving the argument, then
say
I
the
send the
argument.
panel. You still have to
Say the
listen to the
argument.
argument.
Just say the
Okay, well,
argument.
listen to the argument ahead of time. Stop cutting me off like I
Just say
just
the
told you.
argument.
Shut the fuck up. The argument
Uh-huh.
is literally just that Maki is in a normal situation. She's on guard. She looks at Arame. The attack comes out, and it's too fast for her to avoid it.
Okay. So one, why is she on guard for Urame?
Why is Maki on guard for
Yeah.
Arame? She's literally looking directly at Arame. She was just in the middle of a fight like 2 seconds ago. Why would she not be on guard? That seems to be an indicator that she is on guard because she is literally like sensing curse energy welling up in Arame.
She
And
could sense curse energy?
Yamaki can sense curse energy. You didn't know that?
How does she do that?
You mean, how does she do it? You just see her do it. I don't know the process, but I
What do you
know that
mean?
she does do it.
When? Could you prove that?
When she awakens, she literally does it in the perfect preparations arc. Hello?
Alright, can you prove that?
Yeah.
She can sense curse energy
Okay.
in
You're about to get
the
an off clip.
conventional means like a sorcerer does.
What do you mean the conventional means? What would be an
Well, I mean,
unconventional mean?
when a sorcerer, well, conventionally a sorcerer senses energy, right? So I'm just
So what would
saying
be an
when you say,
unconventional means?
I don't know.
If you don't
I'm just
know,
saying
then why are
within a
you asking me to
conventional
prove
mean.
it?
So does she sense it in an unconventional method?
I'm not saying she senses it in an unconventional
So
method.
then
I think she
prove that
senses it
she
in a
does
normal
it
method.
in the
But
conventional
I don't know
method
why
that
you're
I'm
going to ask
familiar
me
with.
that. if you don't even know what conventional is going to mean here. I don't know
I
what you're
do
asking
know what.
me.
No, no,
I'm not
no.
going
You
to
asked
prove.
me.
I'm not going to
Asked
prove
me.
something
Hold
if I
on.
don't know
Stop.
what you
Hold
mean.
on. Hold on. Shh. You asked me, right? Do I know what the unconventional method is? I said I don't know what that means. I just know the conventional method that other sorcerers do, right? So, could you prove that Maki, who does not have curse energy like other sorcerers, can sense curse energy like they do?
Okay, look, she's literally sensing cursed energy. Look at the bottom of that panel.
Why is this a sensing of curse energy?
Are you fucking retarded? You
I'm
serious?
asking, why is this a sensing of curse energy? I'm asking you a question.
How did she
You don't
notice
have
the
to be
attack?
combative.
How did she notice the attack if that's not cursed energy?
How does she notice the attack?
Yes, how did she notice that the attack was welling up?
What attack?
So this is right before that guy that we're looking at in the bottom of the panel really makes like some big ass like boulder fucking like thing.
Why is it that she's just noticing him there rather than she's sensing curse energy?
Oh, she noticing him there. She's not looking at him.
Do you have to look at something to notice that it's there?
How is she noticing it then? What sense is she using it? You know what it means to notice something. You're using your senses to notice it. How is she noticing it?
She can hear him.
She's what?
She can hear him.
What noise is he giving off?
The sound effect that's on panel.
Are you sure that's a fucking sound effect for like actual noise, which is like audible outside, rather than
Doesn't
like,
really make
I
any
don't know,
sense.
the noise for like the cursed energy that you would only hear or sense? Well, not even hear, you would just sense if you could sense cursed energy.
You're really begging the question. Because what's in question
I'm
is
asking you. No, I'm not. I'm
I
not
feel
begging
like
the
that's
question.
another
Begging the question would
presupposition.
be if I
Does
presuppose my conclusion. I'm asking you, why can't it be that?
Why can't it be that?
Yes.
The sound of curse energy?
Okay. I'm gonna say the sound. The noise, which would just represent the sensation of sensing cursed energy.
Could you provide evidence for that? I feel like it's far more simpler for it to just be noise from him rather than it
Why is
being
it
noise
simpler?
from the sensation of curse energy.
Okay, why is it simpler?
Because you have a presupposition that curse energy sensing has an auditory sound, while mine doesn't have that same presupposition. It's
Okay,
just that it's normal
again,
noise.
you're not tracking the argument. This is a straw man fallacy. I did not say that it makes a sound. I said that
What
that
do
can
you
just be a
say?
noise to indicate the feeling you would get from sensing cursed energy.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Like a sound effect to represent a
That's
feeling. Like
that's a presupposition.
you don't think like in Star Wars, like there can be some fucking like sound effect to represent like Anakin sensing a disturbance in the forest or some shit.
It can be like a notification that a lot like a alerting, right? But I don't think that the sensation would have a sound to it. Not only that, it's still another
I'm not saying it
presupposition
has a sound
that's
to it.
separate
This is
from mine.
another straw man
You're
fallacy.
saying that
You're not tracking the argument. The argue,
what do you mean?
yeah, I'm not
You
saying
can't
that the
even track what
actual.
I'm saying.
I'm not even saying the panel actually does have audible noise in the bottom.
Yeah, I
What
never
I'm
said
saying
that.
is, you said that 3
You
times
can't track
already.
my argument.
Okay, say my argument back
Let
to
me
me
say it
if you can
again.
track it. Say my argument back to me if you can track it.
Let me say my argument again. Yours have another presupposition because you're presupposing that this is the sound of sensing energy or that this would be something displayed rather than just a normal auditory sound,
You're saying
which is a
another.
far
You're
more
saying as in
simpler
one more
explanation.
than yours.
Huh?
Are you saying one more than yours when you say another presupposition?
Am I saying one word in mine?
No, listen to me. When you say that mine has another presupposition, are you saying that my interpretation has another presupposition that your argument wouldn't have?
Yes.
Okay, why would it have one more than yours?
Can you track? I explained, I'll do it again. Yours have the presupposition, right?
You said it
That
was
there's a
simpler
noise.
initially.
You
You did
said
not
there's a
say that it
noise.
had one
Oh,
less
geez, can I
or one
finish?
more.
Can
Fast
I
for the
finish?
end.
We're debating right now, mute up.
1 second.
But like I said, you're making the presupposition, right, that the sensation of curse energy has an audible noise. The fuck?
Why are you still talking? I literally said 1 second. Repeat yourself.
I don't know. I didn't know if you were gonna mute the guy that's talking. I didn't know whatever you were doing. And you
Yeah,
asked
I
me to
thought you
say
were
my
talking about
argument
me.
again.
My bad. Yeah, repeat the argument.
Okay, so yours have another presupposition because you're presupposing, right, that there's a noise that can be attached to the sensation of sense and curse energy. Not only that, also the other presupposition is that a person with no curse energy can even do this.
So it has another okay, so it has more
That's
commitments.
two more
How does that
presuppositions than
automatically
mine.
mean that it's okay? How does that automatically mean though that it's more
And
complex?
mine's more probable
No, I'm
because
saying
it's
why is
simpler.
mine more complex?
Because it has more presuppositions than mine. It's
Okay, why does the number of entities within an argument entail higher or lesser
complexity.
likelihood?
Complexity.
Okay, so you said that yours was simpler via numbers. So
Yeah.
given that, hold on, no. Given
And not
that,
only that, the situation itself.
okay, hold on.
So
So
it's not just a number,
in
it's
that
also
panel, you literally
concept.
see that. Okay, so I'm asking you, why does having an additional entity automatically mean that mine is more complex than yours? Why does it mean that?
It's not one more entity, it's two more entities like I brought up. And not only
Two
that,
more? You only
it's the
listed two
situation.
entities. It wouldn't be two.
I
It'd be
listed
another one.
there's an audible sound, right? To curse energy being sensed, right? And then the second one was that a
Okay, so
person
no,
with
the
no
first one
curse
isn't
energy.
within my
Hold
arguments.
on,
What's
hold
the
on.
second one?
That you don't even know your whole argument if you're saying that at that
You
point.
haven't tracked my
The
argument
second
4
one,
times.
the
This is a
second one,
straw man
the
value.
second one, it's not a straw man. The second one, right, is that you presuppose that a character with a zero curse energy, it would even be possible for them to sense curse energy.
You're presupposing that a character without cursed energy can't sense cursed energy, though. That's the thing,
I've
because you're
never made
negating
that
my
claim.
thing.
I never made that claim.
Oh, so you're just agnostic on it?
I'm asking you to prove your point.
I'm asking you a question. Are you agnostic on that?
Sure. I'm just taking, yeah.
Okay. So 2 versus 1. Okay.
Well,
2
mine
1.
doesn't even have a presupposition.
Yours has the presupposition that the guy was making noise there.
Yeah, and it's based off the sound effect.
Okay. That's assuming that the sound effect is actually audible noise and not some
No,
thing meant to represent.
the sound effect is noise. Whether or
Why
not
is the sound effect
it's
noise?
whatever
Why is
is
the sound
it's
effect noise and it's not just meant to represent like some feeling you get when you
regardless.
sense something?
I think this is
You,
just
I have
gonna
a
devolve
question.
into
I
a
have a question.
tangent. To be honest,
Do you
could
think
you just
Yuta? Let me ask you a question. Do you think Yuta in Shibuya when he like pulls up, no post Shibuya? Do you think when he has like creepy curse energy aura and we see sound effects, like there's actual sound there, or it's just some sensation of creepiness? And then sound effect is just meant to represent that, rather than there actually being audible sound from Yuta just
if
walking around with
there's
curse energy.
I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about, but I believe every time there's a sound effect, there's an actual noise happening.
What's the argument for
That's what
that?
sound effects are.
Okay, prove that.
Prove it.
Yeah, prove that.
I just told you.
Yeah, prove that that's the case. You made the
I never
claim.
said that
Why is
it's
the claim true?
definitive. I never said that it's definitively the case. I said it's just a belief of mine.
No, you said it is definitively the case. So the
We
sig
can
hedge,
ask. We can
but
ask
why is that
Kumar.
more likely?
Kumar.
But why is that more
Did I
likely? I don't
say?
even care.
Hold on, Kumar.
You can hedge. I
Did I
don't care.
say?
You
Did I
can hedge.
say
I don't care. You can
that's
hedge.
not
I
a
don't
hedge?
care.
Did I
Sure, it's a
say
hedge.
I
It's a hedge. I
believe
don't really
each
care.
time? You can
Why
think
is it
that.
more
This is
likely?
why.
Why is it probable?
Why
Why
is
is it
it
probable?
probable?
Yes.
Why are you asking me to prove a belief that's not a claim?
So you're not using that for the debate.
You just asked me a question. I said I'm not sure what you're talking
So
about,
I
but
asked you,
I do
why does there
believe
being a
there's
sound
a
effect
time with
necessitate that
audible
there's audible
noise.
noise?
I think
And then
this
you said, because I think all sound effects are meant to represent audible noise. And whenever there's a sound effect, there is audible noise. So I'm asking you now, right? Can you prove that? What's the argument for that? If
it's
you're
not a
dropping that
claim.
now, you're just saying that's something you believe
That's
in.
not a claim.
Sure, That's fine.
That's
You're
my
hedging
claim.
the claim will be dropped.
That's
It won't
not
be
me hedging the
used.
claim.
Okay, so it's going to be dropped. You're not using that for your argument?
I'm not arguing that, bro. You just asked me what I believe. I told you what I believe. Now stick to the point because they're losing right now.
Okay, but you
Your
literally said
argument
that that
is
was like a
more complex and it has
presupposition
more
of my
presuppositions you need to
argument,
be
though.
solved
Like you said that
than
was a
mine, right?
presupposition of my
So
argument.
via
You're
Occam's
using that
razor,
argument.
my argument would be more probable.
Okay. It won't even be more probable. Let me ask you this. So you think like him just putting his hands on the ground makes noise? So when his hands are just on the ground, he's not doing anything. What noise is being generated?
What noise is being generated?
Yeah. What's the noise that's being generated? What is the generator of the noise?
I don't know if there was movement that happened before. I don't know if there's any other thing that can be, you know, causing the audio, right? But I'm just saying, based off the fact that we see a, sound effect, that there's likely a noise happening.
So your
Versus
interpretation is lacking explanatory depth because I'm literally asking you about what's generating the noise, and you're just saying you don't know.
explanatory depth.
Yeah, depth.
That's not a
Yes.
burden I need to fulfill.
You do have to make interpretations equal. If I'm saying that your interpretation is lacking,
Your
in some
interpretation
sort,
isn't
it doesn't
equal.
explain some things, then your interpretation won't be equal, and yours won't even be more likely either.
It's based
I'm
off
not
the
saying
same
mine's
evidence.
equal. I'm saying mine's more likely.
Yeah, yours not more likely because you haven't proved any of the presuppositions, and the fact that the presuppositions exist in the first place makes it more complex. And my argument just being a more simpler end-based
So what
argument
what
based off
exactly do you
actual
think is
sound
the
effects.
noise which is
Sound
like
effects
what do
represent
you think is
sound.
generating some, so you think like you don't know at all, you can't explain this at all, so it's just
I'm
the
not saying that
probability
I can't
with
explain.
no
I'm just saying that
foundation,
it's
no
not necessary.
explanation. Mine is
I'm
literally
just
just
saying that
cursed
it's not
energy. It
necessary.
explains the phenomena and whatever. All they see is that this guy is just standing there. He gets on the ground, then he puts his hands on the ground. I don't think that would generate enough noise to where someone could hear you several doors down. I think that's stupid. I think that's a stupid claim.
So then I feel like at that point that I think that at some point, maybe just him being there causes the sound. I think that it can be just another noise that would just alert him to the area. I just think that there's an auditory noise based off it being a sound effect.
Oh yeah. So that sound effect, I literally just looked it up. That sound effect doesn't even necessarily mean that there is noise. That sound effect can be used to just make the atmosphere more intense for a scene. So I don't know why you think that that sound effect has to have some fucking like
I'm
actual
saying
audio
it's just
noise
probably
behind it.
making noise because it's a sound
That's like
effect.
really. Let me finish talking. Shut the fuck up.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I think it's literally just atmosphere. I've pointed out the problems with the guy just standing there generating that much noise. We literally see curse energy effects too, which seems to make it more likely, like that little black stuff. Those are cursed energy effects, seemingly. And I can show you the same thing from the Kashimo fight.
Okay. So you think the sound effects is representative of the atmosphere?
Yes, the atmosphere of cursed energy.
The atmosphere of curse energy?
Yes.
Okay. So where's the atmosphere of curse energy even at?
Black lines.
Why does the black lines represent curse energy?
Cursed energy.
Why does it represent curse energy?
I point out the problems of it being sound. So she's not looking at him. You have six senses in JJK, not just five. You have sight,
Okay.
curse energy sensing, which is sort of the thing in question. I'm not presupposing now from my argument. Sight, curse energy sensing, touch, feel, sight, and hearing. Okay. So the only ones that could work there would be hearing because sight doesn't work. And those other ones don't really give you an indicator that someone's there, like touch and feel. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So given that, the sixth sense explains it the best. That's why the sixth sense is the most likely thing explaining why she's able to notice that the guy's there.
A sixth sense, like intuition?
I don't know why I said touch and feel twice. Twice. Touch and feel are the same thing.
Like
I meant to say
intuition?
taste. Taste is
I don't think
another
that.
sense.
Okay, so one, you haven't proved all the black lines right, are curse energy. And you
I
have
can show you
reasons
another panel.
why.
Jesus Christ, it literally, obviously, it's cursed
Hey, can I
energy. I'll
just
show it to
finish?
you.
I don't think it's obviously curse energy. Why isn't it just atmosphere to show it being creepy?
Creepy?
And
Why would that
and
be creepy? Look at this.
yeah, I don't think that's curse energy.
For the Sukuna panel? You don't think this is
Yeah,
cursed
no, I
energy?
don't. No, I think this is
Are
just
you
aura he
fucking
gives
serious?
off, just like an intimidating aura.
Intimidating aura. What do you think is generating the aura?
Just his presence.
What about his presence is generating the aura?
It's just his presence. It's just intimidating.
This is circular reasoning.
What do you mean?
I'm asking you, what about his presence generates the aura? You're saying it's
Do
just
you
the
know what it?
presence. What about the presence
I'm
generates
not
the
meaning
aura?
aura
Look at
is
this. Look at
intangible.
this. Look
I
at
just
this.
mean the feeling you get around him.
Yeah, why do you get the feeling?
Because he's intimidating.
It's circular reasoning. Holy
That's
shit.
not circular reasoning. I'm not
I'm
saying that he's
asking you, I'm
intimidating
asking you,
because
what about the intimidation actually gives you the sensation? How does that work in
Oh
concept?
yeah, when you're intimidated by somebody, you typically fear shit like fear, and you fear shit like anguish when you're facing against him. Like mind you, he just got his hand, air body just got buff as shit. His current like everything just about him just got stronger, right? So what he's alluding right now is just a stronger presence than before, right? And that facing somebody that is strong, you're gonna get intimidated if they're way stronger than you. Not only that,
So
it can also just be to show the audience how spooky Sukuna is right now, which can be
where's
reasonably explained in both.
look at this panel
That's not
too.
in
So
the
we
sorcerer.
have literally the Maki panel, we have the Sukuna panel, we have the Ryu panel, and we have the panel of Sukuna using his domain expansion. We literally see that in all of those panels, besides the first one, which I'm not going to say is definitively the case because that would be a begging the question fallacy. In all of these panels, we see a correlation between these people sensing curse energy and these lines appearing. This gives me a
Why
reason
is
to
it?
believe that they're literally sensing curse energy. Why the fuck would hit like
Why is it?
Miguel,
Why is
who's
it
literally
they're
across the
sensing
city,
curse
just
energy?
randomly sense some intimidating aura? Like someone's emotions are just giving him fear. When is that ever explained within the verse? This is a
When is
stupid
that
theory.
ever explained for the verse?
Yeah,
I think that's
explained
just
within the verse.
general within fiction. You don't think that it's general within fiction that a character can exude that makes people fearful?
People randomly in fiction just get fearful of a guy across the city with no explanation on why they can even
I'm pretty sure
sense
in
him or
Shibuya,
whatever.
there were civilians that was getting scared by either Gojo or like the curses or something.
You literally saw people dying around them.
Okay.
If you see
There
people
were
dying around them,
in the
giving
instance
you
I'm
reason
bringing
to
up,
be
I'm not
afraid,
bringing up
that's not just a
I'm
menacing
bringing up
aura.
just an instance
Initially, you were
where they're
making a
just
point that
people
they just have
feeling
some menacing
uneasy
aura. This
without
is
people
dog
seeing
shit.
the dead people.
People didn't see the dead people and they just got uneasy. Show me that.
I'll try to find it.
It never happens. He's sitting next to a train or some shit.
Booty, booty, booty.
Who is this nigga, bro? He's part of the Hale shit. Where did you come from?
I've always been here, bro. Since
No, I mean in
February.
com.
What?
No, I mean when did you get to com? How did you get to com?
Like,
I didn't even notice this was on me.
bro,
Yo, shut up, pussy.
I got through com anyways. I got through com through the versus battle debate server when it was actually good.
Back in the day.
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Way back in the day. Honestly, that was when com was at its best.
Literally, bro. I miss that shit so much. It would just be me, Rankale Kage, sometimes Trickster. Oh my gosh, bro.
Good old days, man.
Now it's just goons and dog shit people there. Like,
Exactly.
oh man, bro. What are these niggas debating, by the way?
Maki versus Akari.
Maki beats the fuck out that nigga. It's so tragic.
Yeah, I don't even understand how this is a topic.
Akari beats ass, bro. Swear to God. He's literally gonna cut her in half with some doors, bro. Don't fuck with Akari.
Wow. Hey, I'm
Bro.
gonna lie, bro. She is fucking
Yeah, I
catching
can't
those
find that.
doors. And
But
just like
regardless,
breaking.
I think it's reasonable to believe that this can just be presence rather than just. I think this could just be presence rather than curse energy. It's not like it's
That's
being forced
retarded.
on
I already
somebody.
explained why that's retarded. We can move on.
What did you say for why it's retarded?
Last time I'm going to repeat this. The reason why it's retarded is because people randomly in fiction, they don't just get afraid of people from some menacing aura when these people are halfway across the city. If it's not explained within the story that they have some way of sensing people. If I'm halfway across the city, why the fuck would I just get intimidated of someone on the other side of the city if I can't see them or
Because
whatever?
it's almost like these people can, like, the presence and itself can allude to danger, and if it's a large amount of presence, like somebody like Sakuna, who's very strong, it will just allude a lot of danger.
Okay, you didn't track the argument?
Huh?
You didn't track the argument?
I didn't track the argument. I gave a justification for why they would be able to feel fear from something that's happening across the city, as long as
So
it's dangerous.
all you did was literally
Dangerous
just
enough.
beg the question, like literally
How's
just
that
committed
begging the
another
question?
begging the question fallacy, and you just didn't track the argument. Like this is
How's that
so
begging the
over it.
question?
Okay,
How's
so
it begging
Maki
Begging
can
the
the
send
question fallacy.
like Maki can
How's it
literally
begging the
sense
question?
the. I already explained this so many times to you. I'm not
Say,
repeating.
you just said it's begging the question just now. Say why it's begging the question, bro.
I already explained. I'm not explaining it again. Take
You're
a
not
hike.
explaining it. I don't think you explained it. I'm just going to dismiss it, and I think you're lying. There's no justification for why
Okay,
you
I
said it.
don't really care if you want to
So it's
dismiss it
not,
in your head.
it's not begging the
Okay,
question.
so Maki can
So
sense curse energy, so that's the first thing.
Maki can sense curse
So
energy
yeah,
based off what?
based off the
Exactly. You
argument
haven't proved
prior,
anything.
we already talked
Like,
about
why
this.
can the person with zero curse
So
energy even have that
yeah,
capability?
I already explained why. Listen,
Why?
if you
Didn't
disagree
explain
with it,
why.
that's fine.
You
We can
said
literally
that. You
just go
said
through the
I think this is
recording, and
curse
then
energy.
people can literally say
I
I
think this
agree or
is.
disagree with
You said I
haram
think
or
this is
real
curse energy.
king.
You said that I think
Shut the
this is
fuck
X
up.
and X, right?
Yo, chill
I'm
the fuck
saying,
out.
okay,
Listen,
why can
listen,
she
we're gonna
even
move on
sense
here.
curse
We're
energy?
gonna move on here. If you think you won this, then this point will just get disregarded. So literally, it won't stand when someone like looks over the debate. Okay?
Okay, we could just conclude then.
Yeah. Anyways, um, so Arame literally shoots out the attack. So given that, I think it's a speed blitz. Do you have any other contentions or no?
I said that she wouldn't be aware of him. Her attention was diverted on something else, and the
You
attack
didn't say that before, and why is her attention diverted on something else? She's literally looking at
She was just
Arame. There's like
she was
exclamation
just
marks
fighting
above her
Laguna.
head. She's clearly like paying attention to Arame.
She was just fighting Laguna. And then she hears something, she's turned around, she's in a state of shock. So that wouldn't be normal in a normal combative sense.
I don't even think she heard. I think she sensed, which is sort of based on the point
Which
from
is begging the
prior.
question.
And it's not begging the question. I'm saying it's already
Yes, it is.
justified.
You said that it's
Okay, I
sensed.
already
That's
justified it, so
something
that's
that
not begging question fallacy.
no,
Begging
I
question fallacy.
it
The
relied on the
proposition
point.
hasn't been
The point
justified.
isn't even
You're just
judged.
presupposing your conclusion.
You're just
Just assuming it to
presupposing
be
that that's
true off
true.
no justification. That's stupid.
Whatever you say. Like I
Yeah.
said, right?
So like I
Begging the
was
question like
saying,
that. Not only that. Okay. Not only that.
I was
She's in a
saying,
state of shock because she was just
I
fighting
was
the woman,
talking first.
and then somebody else jumps in behind her and charges up attacking and hits her. So it's not a normal
Okay,
combative
so
sense.
she could sense the attack being charged even from the moment it started charging, based off of the whole CE sensing thing I talked about.
It's a question back.
Even beyond
Not
that,
only that.
it's not a
That's a
question bag.
question
It's
back.
already been justified.
Not only
So even
that, she's in
beyond
a
that,
state. She's in a state of shock.
Shut the fuck up. I don't think you could prove she's in some state of shock. She's literally just looking. There's no shocked facial expression. There's nothing within the manga which indicates that she is shocked. So I think it's likely that she isn't shocked. And literally, sure, she can be aware that Sukun is there. I think she still
I think
has.
based off
I still think
her
she
facial
does still in
expressions,
this instance have the capability to just pay enough attention to Arame to be like, I'm just gonna run backwards and avoid this well of curse energy just surging up. So,
okay.
and the reason for that is literally just we can replace
So
curse energy
we
sensing
just
with
gonna
sight here
shotgun.
for the sake
Just
of.
gonna shotgun, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna repeat all these points to you if you want.
There's
not
no
shotgun.
reason to repeat multiple points against me if we're just gonna take it point by point.
Okay, I don't really care. I'm gonna keep finishing my argument.
Okay, you're gonna shotgun repeatedly, like I said.
So
I
it's
think
not
based on facial
shotgun. You
expressions,
already got fucking like
Laguna's
destroyed on why it's
explanation
not
is true.
shotgun.
Okay,
You're
you
like
didn't
ass.
destroy anything.
Okay, your
So,
ass. I don't really
not
care.
only that, his face's expression, the notification on top, I think she's just shocked by it happening. Not only that, the attack
With
is an
facial
AoE
expression?
attack. Her facial expression. Not only
Yeah, what
that,
facial
the
expression?
notification.
I'm asking you, what's the facial expression?
I think it's one of surprise.
One of surprise.
Mhm.
Can you explain that? Why do you think it's a face of surprise?
I think just my normal human intuition.
Okay, I have a different intuition. Now
Mhm.
what?
And then, right?
Why is
you
your
think
intuition more truth tracking than mine?
Well, I believe that also that the notification thing that happens above her, right, is also a part of her being surprised or alerted. Not only that, Maguna's
If it's
explanation of
alerted, it
oh,
wouldn't be
right,
surprised, so it would go
of
against your
oh,
argument. I think it's alerted, not
what?
surprised.
You think you can't get? You don't think that something can be revealed to you and you're surprised by it?
Well, the problem is you said or. So when you say being alerted or being surprised, then it implies that being alerted wouldn't be being surprised. Okay? That's the implication.
Okay, so I'm just saying that it can be one of these two things. It's probable that it's one of these two things, right? So then now going on to
I
Maguna's
think she's just being
explanation,
alerted without being
facial
surprised or
expression,
hindered in any way. And
you
she's
can
like
think
literally
that.
looking at her
That's
for an
that's fine.
entire panel too. Like you think
Okay,
she's like
that's
shocked
fine.
while she's just
Okay,
looking at
that's
Arame
fine.
before Arame shoots out the
Okay,
attack.
that's fine.
Can I
Not
get a
only
yes or no
that,
on that? Can I
Laguna,
get a yes or no on that? You think she's
can I,
literally just looking at Arame and she's shocked for like a full ass moment before Arame even shocks, fires the attack?
how can you tell the amount of time that's happening on panel?
I said a moment. A moment isn't a specification of like time.
A moment is arbitrary specification of time.
Yeah, it's
How do you
arbitrary.
know
That's the
how
whole
long
point.
it
It doesn't
is?
specify. It doesn't do anything.
How do you know how long it is?
I don't know how long it is. I literally just said a
Exactly.
moment.
So if you don't know how long it is, then you don't know how long she was like alerted or she was in a state where she
Okay,
wasn't
well, that's the
completely
best point you
unconscious.
made this whole debate, but I still don't think she's surprised because you're in a fight and she's literally sensing like curse energy attacks from Sukuna all the
That's a
time.
presupposition again.
Okay, well, that's already contingent on the argument I gave earlier, and beyond that,
presupposition, right? So, like I
I
said,
don't really
with
care. Let me
the
finish
whole
talking.
thing, we
So
don't know
given that I don't really feel
how
like why
long
she
she's
would
having
randomly
that.
get surprised by this, I don't
Why would she
know
randomly
why.
get
She's already
surprised
in
by a
combat
fighter
mode. Why would she
appearing
just like
behind her,
get
attacking
shocked
her?
randomly?
Why would she not get surprised by another fighter joining the fight that she didn't have any knowledge about?
I already justified this, and why does the knowledge thing have any relevance?
Because do you think that things? When you're surprised by something, it's usually something that comes out of your knowledge.
Out of your knowledge,
Yeah,
it could just
like
be out of
something
your
you don't know
senses. Like
about.
you could, like I could know about a gunshot, but then I randomly see someone with like a gun and they shoot at me. It's still within my knowledge. It's just not something I'm aware of.
How are
I'm
you
not
gonna see
attentive of it in
somebody
that
with a
moment.
gun if you already heard the gunshot? Are they shooting at you?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Then if you wouldn't even hear the gunshot. It's just a
What do you
retarded
mean I wouldn't
analogy
even hear the gunshot?
because the bullet would be moving faster than the sound.
Oh my
What?
god. I
Well,
didn't
let's
only
move
talk
on.
about I didn't only talk about hearing. That's not the only sense you could see it too.
Okay, you said that you hear a gunshot, then you see a person holding a gun at you.
I
Then
didn't say hear a gunshot.
you didn't say hear a
Strawman
gunshot.
fallacy. Nope, didn't say that. Strawman fallacy.
Lying. What did you say about a gunshot?
I said I can know about a gunshot and then
How
see a
would you
person
know
with a
about the
gun
gunshot?
and know about a
You
gun,
rat.
but I don't see them until like right as they shoot a gun. So I'm taken off guard because I wasn't attentive of the thing that was happening.
Okay,
It's
so
still within
did you
my
see?
knowledge.
You
It's just not
didn't.
something I'm attentive of.
You know of a shot, right? But you don't know the person holding the gun, and etc. Right? So that would be new knowledge once you see them.
Why would that be new knowledge?
I
The
just explained.
person?
You heard the gunshot,
What
so
if you
you
see
know
the
that
person
you didn't.
before?
But
Wait,
you
why don't we just change it to we see the person before? Now what?
And so
Why is
you're
that
gonna
new
add
knowledge?
your analogy, then no new knowledge would be happening.
I don't
And
see an
then
issue with adding something to the
so then
point just to
your
defeat your point.
hypothetical is literally just retarded because you're shaping it to be one particular way. You're saying that okay, what if, right? You
Why
got no
is that
knowledge, but
retarded?
you
That's
got
a normal ass
surprised.
hypothetical.
Why
You
is
can
that a
know about someone and then
hypothetical
they
that is
shoot at you.
suggested with reality or within Jujutsu Kaisen?
In real life, you see people all the time that you know that shoot at you. This happens all the time in
Okay,
America. Are you
and
retarded?
you think you do?
In
I
Jujutsu
don't think this
Kaisen,
happens
I'm sure this
all the
happens
time.
too,
I don't
because
think it's.
Jujutsu Kaisen is meant
Nobody's never
to
shot me.
represent real life.
It's not supposed to represent real life.
No, it's supposed to represent real life to some
Okay,
extent.
if
Yeah.
somebody came up to me, right, and they pulled out a gun at me, I'm surprised by the fact that somebody's about to shoot me, which was acknowledged to me 5 minutes ago. You see how each time, like a jam it with reality, it's a new knowledge hitting you?
Can you like give me like
Something
an
that's, you see,
explanation?
a
Can you give
literal, hold
me
on, a
okay? So
literal,
the reason why
hold on,
people perform worse in combat is
okay,
because
a
due to them
literal
being unattentive,
explanation is
they
something that's
perform
unexpected.
worse. Let me ask you this: why
Mm.
can you like fully explain this? What exactly is happening here, which is causing Maki's reactions to be inferior than they would have been normally, and explain why scientifically.
You said why?
Explain why scientifically, yeah. Explain why scientifically Maki like sensing someone building up curse energy is randomly like hindering her movements and
That's,
contextualize that to this
again, that's a
scene.
question back. Stop saying why her sensing curse energy.
Okay.
Look, this is a
Whoever
surprise.
it's not question bag,
If
it's
somebody
already been
catches you off
justified.
guard,
You're
they
retarded.
surprise you by doing something that
Even if
you would
it's
not
not
expect,
sensing curse
even if it
energy,
wasn't
even
knowledge
if
of
it's
it.
like hearing it or fucking
So she
seeing it,
didn't know
I would
on
still
that she
want an explanation for why that would be hindered there.
why that would be hindering
Hindered
because
there.
she would be off guard because she's surprised.
This is a fucking question bag. We are done with that. We can move on.
What? I just sent you a panel
Literally a
saying that
begging the
exact
question
thing.
fallacy.
That's you're so dumb, nigga. What the fuck is wrong?
You sending me a random ass panel explaining what it means to be
Wait,
off guard doesn't respond to
yeah.
my question. We're moving on.
What's the question that it's? What are you
I already
talking
did.
about?
I already talked about this. You're
Okay,
retarded.
so not only that,
You're
I don't care
retarded.
if
I
you
already
pretend.
talked about
Okay,
this.
that's fine.
We
That's
already
fine. You could
talked
think
about
that. You
this.
could think that. You could think that. You
So,
could think that, right? So
okay,
not
so
only
Maki got
that.
blitzed.
Okay,
Maki got
so
blitzed.
no,
So now
Maki
the
did not
next
get
part
blitzed.
is: do you
Maki did
agree
not
that
blitz.
Hikari
Maki
scales
did
to
not get
Arami?
blitzed. Not
Do you
only
agree
that,
that
within the
Hikari scales to
panel.
Arami?
Okay, not only that, within
Moving
the
on.
panel.
I'm not addressing
Okay,
anything you say
okay,
unless
okay,
it's a new
okay.
argument.
Don't address it and lose. So Yorume
Okay, I'm
sent an
gonna win.
AoE attack, right? We just see the launch of the attack, and we know that Maki got hit by it, right? With everything I said before that, we don't know if Maki, right, actually stood there frozen like you're claiming, or she moved away but just caught by the attack anyway because it's a massive AoE attack.
She got caught by the attack anyways because it's a massive AoE attack. She still would have gotten speed blitzed.
She still would have got a speed blitz. Do you think if you
Yeah,
move from an
that
attack, right?
ice has to form. It
Do
has
you
to
think
form and
we already
travel
defined
towards
what a
you.
speed blitz is?
She didn't have the
Do you think
speed
if
to
you
avoid it. She
try to
got speed
move
blitzed.
out of an attack, right, but you're not able to move out the full range of the attack, then it's a speed blitz?
Yeah,
That's retarded. We already went through the terms. It wouldn't be. Why is she not able
it
to
is
perceive
literally
or react
distance
to the
over
attack?
time. The distance over time that's being covered by this attack in particular is too great for Maki's speed. Her distance over time that she can travel to avoid it. It is a speed blitz.
What do you mean avoid it?
Like she could
Do you
literally
even know
jump
the
and get out
distance?
of the
Do
ice.
you
She
even
could
know the
run
distance?
away.
What's the distance between Maki and the attack?
I don't know. 10, 15 feet, I'm guessing.
Okay, why is it 10, 15 feet?
I'm saying I'm guessing. I'm just trying to like
I'm
assume
just
what it would be
asking you,
based off of like
where are you getting
her
this
feet and Arame's
distance
feet
from?
on the paneling.
Where are you getting this from?
I'm looking at the panel. I'm seeing how large her feet are and Arame's feet are. And I'm
Okay,
making the
so you're
estimate
saying that
that it's
based off the
10 to
distance
15
between
feet.
Yorame and Maki, that's the distance between her and the attack? Why?
I already explained this. You're retarded.
No, I'm asking you, why is the distance between Yorame and Maki the same as the distance between her and the attack? You're presupposing that the attack starts at the same point as Yorame.
We literally see Frostcom in the anime. It travels off of Arame to the targets. Why the fuck would it spawn somewhere else there?
Why would it spawn somewhere else?
We literally see it spawn. It comes from Arame to the targets in the anime. That's how
Do we
fucking
see
Frostcom works.
okay? Do we see maximum output Frost?
Why would maximum Frostcom be different here? Do you
Because
think
it's a
she can just
different
spawn
attack.
ice randomly in front of her?
It's
What's
a
the basis
different
for that?
attack. It's a different attack.
Do you think she can spawn ice on her randomly,
I'm
or well, not
saying,
on
right?
her,
You're
off
making the
her,
presupposition.
ahead of her?
I'm not making that claim.
Answer the question.
You're
Answer
making.
the question.
You're not.
How would
You're
it
not.
work?
You're not making
How
the
would it
claim.
work? So how would it work?
Yeah.
How the
You
fuck
said
would it
what?
work if it doesn't work like that?
I don't have to define that. That's not my burden.
You
Your
can
burden is to
literally
prove that it
posit some
starts from
random
early
like
Ume.
bullshit, stupid ass like possible interpretation with no explanatory power whatsoever that doesn't make any fucking
What are you
sense.
talking
And you
about?
can
No
think it will literally
explanatory
make you win the
power.
debate.
You're
It's not
making a
gonna make you win
positive claim
anything.
that it starts
Make
from
an
early
actual
Ume.
argument.
I'm
You're
asking you why.
stupid. You're just
You said
possibly
false
claiming
climb.
because you're a fucking low
Stop
tier.
just
You're
stop
retarded.
just tossing
You're
out ad
retarded. You're
hominems
stupid
because
as
you're
fuck.
losing.
You're stupid as fuck.
Stop
It's not
tossing
an ad
ad
hominem,
hominems
bitch.
because you're
It's not
losing.
an ad hominem, bitch.
Ad hominem is an attack to one's character.
Yeah, an ad hominem attacking one's character or their person to defeat their argument. Like they're wrong
No,
because
it's
you're a
not.
bitch or
It's just
something.
attacking the person
Okay,
or
look it up.
character.
Look it up. You don't know what an ad hominem is,
Okay.
bitch.
Because why are you like an argument? The ad hominem argument or reaction directed against a person rather than the position they are. So specifically attacking the person and not the argument.
Yeah, to try to
Exactly.
defeat the
So when
argument,
you
you
say
dumb fuck.
you're stupid, you're dumb, that's just you tossing ad hominem because you're losing.
So you think like there's a logical fallacy being committed when I just call
I'm
you
just
a
asking
bitch or a
you. Stop.
faggot or
I'm
a dyke
asking you.
or a
I'm
retard
asking you.
or a
I'm asking you.
zipperhead
Stop
or
throwing
a
ad hominems
beaner
because you
or a
can't debate
coon
properly.
or a nigger. Like, are we serious?
Yeah, you can say whatever. I'm asking you. Stop throwing.
Okay, it's not an ad hominem. I've already explained why.
I just gave the definition of it. You're based off of arbitrary
Yeah,
position that
track
you
the
justify.
claim, bitch. Track the claim.
Exactly. I already justified my claim with a Google
No,
definition.
you didn't. No, you
Definition.
didn't. No, you
Why
didn't.
not?
Track the
I just
argument.
read it out.
Yeah, track the argument next time. Bitch.
You don't track much shit. Anyways, it
Oh, ad
would
hominem,
be
ad
attacked.
hominem,
You
ad
haven't
hominem.
proved
You can
that.
see the debate,
We can
ad
conclude. We
hominem.
can conclude.
Use the
We can
like here.
conclude. We can conclude.
No.
How about we do it?
Sakari,
Let's
do
just
you agree
conclude.
that Hakari is relative to Arame in terms of
No,
stats?
I think we should just conclude on this. Did Maki get speed bliss point?
No, they already made the claim about Hakari. Let's just go over that.
You already made the claim about Hikari. It doesn't matter. Maki doesn't
I don't
connect to Ume.
It
At this
really
point,
doesn't
doesn't happen.
matter.
What's
Okay,
the point of
so
Hikari
I'm
being
making the
relative to
claim that
Ume if
Arame is above
it has no
Maki.
speed?
If Hakari is relative to Arame, then Hakari would likely be above Arame.
Okay,
Maki
exactly.
and Arame, sorry.
Okay. So if that's the case, right? If that's the case that you're making that connection,
I give my
Maki
fucking
to
reasoning, like,
Arame
do you just
to
think just
Hikari,
to
right?
disagree with me, we're not gonna move on, and I'm not gonna give my arguments? Like, why are you so
on this
fucking
point.
stupid? What the fuck is
Let's
wrong with
conclude
you?
on this point.
No. I already made the
Why
claim.
not?
Let me suffice my claim.
The Hikari? I'm asking you to conclude on the Ume speed blissing Maki point.
We're literally just going to move on, and then all those points are just going to be for people to judge. Okay.
I don't feel like it's necessary to even go on from that. I'd rather just go into Maki scaling
It
because
is necessary. It literally is necessary. How the
wrong
fuck am I going to
if you
scale
going off on
my
this one
character
point.
above yours if I haven't scaled Hakari at all yet?
I don't know
How
why
the
you were
fuck am
bringing
I?
up this Ume speed blissing Maki point. You got there on the point,
Because
and
the
it's like,
point was
okay,
that if Arame
we
is
can
above
put.
Maki and Hakari is relative to Arame, then Hakari would be above Maki. Do you get it?
All right, bro. I get
Okay.
it. I get it.
So, do you agree that Hakari is relative to Arame?
No.
You're a fucking rat, but sure. Let me prove this real quick. I'll give the argument. Niggas fucking ratting in 2025. Well, for fucking JJK, lock the fuck in.
You're talking about right. Okay, buddy.
You're the biggest rat, like, ever.
Mhm.
Like, you
Oh, nigga,
literally
get
are
the panel,
saying
faggot.
Akari is relative to Arame.
Oh, get the panel, nigga. Get the panel. Ooh, dude, get the panel dance. Ooh.
Whoa, don't call
Ooh,
me a
get the
nigga,
panel
bro. That's
dance.
an ad hominem. Don't call me a nigga,
Ooh,
bro. That's an ad hominem.
get the panel. Ooh, get the panel. Ooh, get the panel dance. Ooh, get the panel, nigga. Go ahead.
Stop throwing out ad homs, bro. Stop throwing out ad homs.
Get the panel. Ooh,
Stop throwing out ad homs.
Here. Ooh. Get the panel, bro. Why don't you just go for it? Hurry up, bro.
Listen, I don't give a shit if you think that these panels like suggest that Akari is actually above Arame or not. They're either relative or above off of these panels. Kare would literally just beat the shit out of Maki and win. Because WinCon is better stats. Speed her in a fight. Bitch.
Okay, so I think that first panel shows Hikari's arm, being destroyed. Right? Would you agree?
Are you gonna literally list out all the panels one by one and ask me if I agree with what happens? Make
I'm
a
just
point.
asking, do you
I'm
agree
not
with
I
that?
don't care. I don't care.
Oh,
Make a point.
Jesus.
Make a
Okay,
point.
I'll just assume that you agree that his arm gets blown off, right? Do
Yes,
you
make a point.
agree that growing, regenerating an arm is no easy feat? It's something that's hard and it's impressive within reverse curse technique.
Depending on the person.
What do you mean, depending on the person?
Yeah, Gojo and Sukuna regenerate arms, like it's no big deal. So does
Is
Sakari.
that is that
Like
is
other
that
people might not have that
is that
capability.
impressive?
Is that
That they can do
impressive?
that? Is that
I'm
normal
not
with
sure.
reverse curse
I'm not
techniques
sure.
users?
I'm not sure.
Ryu,
A lot of RCC users might be able to do that. I'm not sure.
okay, yeah. Ryu makes the statement, right? When Yuta regenerates his hand or whatever, that's something that's impressive, right? And then that's something that is noteworthy.
Okay, that can be impressive to what he's seen. I don't know what Ryu is seeing. so I'm not willing to make that claim.
Okay,
What
but for
exactly are you
you,
trying to make off
I,
of this?
I
Let's
still
say
say regardless.
I grant that it's impressive. Where would you go off of that?
Okay, so then why would your ume, be expecting him to like basically within a short period of time, not instantaneously grow an entire arm and attack her with that same arm?
I don't really care about that being specific. The rest of
Okay, then.
the
So then,
panels
if
are
she
like what
doesn't
really
expect
matters.
this to happen, and this is something that is out of the reasonable, rational,
I just told you I
right?
don't care
Because
about that
only
panel. You're
okay,
retarded. You're
okay,
retarded. I don't care
this
about
is
that
just an off
panel.
guard.
Talk about the other
Okay,
panels.
okay. Then the whole face grab, that's an off guard. After this, right after this, Hikari gets slammed in its body, and its body just gets ripped apart by a piece of ice, and he doesn't do anything to avoid it or anything.
Okay.
So I think that your Ume blitzed Hikari.
Are you retarded? Maybe he's letting the attacks hit him because he has RCT, so he can just be hyper aggressive and not worry about defense. Because if he prioritizes offense there, he can put more aggression on the enemy, make the enemy struggle more. And because he's making the enemy struggle more, it'll increase his chances of beating the enemy or whatever.
But what's the point of taking, even if his reverse would just heal the attack and he's still feeling the pain and his body is still being limited within that moment? Why, if he's relative, why doesn't he just, I don't know, step to the side or simply just maneuver out of the way? Or
Maybe fine
instead
with
of having his
pain
body getting blown
as
apart,
long as it grants him a higher chance of victory, because
why does this
his
grant him a
pain
higher
isn't
chance
really
of victory?
relevant to the overall plan at hand. If he beats
I
Arame
believe
there, they have more insurance against Sukuna. That's greater for all of humanity, not just him.
you can do the
So maybe
same thing
Hikari's
while
being a
dodging.
selfless person because that's a smart thing to do, and he would be making a good decision tactically.
So are you making the claim that getting purpose letting your body get like exploded is better than avoiding the attack or letting a
Yes.
less
Yes, he
important
literally will
attack?
just heal that shit in 2 seconds. Yes.
Okay, yeah, still, but that's 2 seconds of him being vulnerable
Vulnerable? How is
versus
he
2
vulnerable?
seconds
It's
of
literally
him
been
not being
stated that
vulnerable.
while he's in Jackpot for 4 minutes and 11 seconds, he's effectively immortal.
I think that statement is conditional, but regardless, him
What do you mean by
out
conditional?
of his
No.
body.
Let's talk
Hold
about
on,
that. No.
hold
Don't
on,
stick
hold on,
that
hold
shit
on,
in.
hold
Why
on,
is that
hold
conditional?
on, hold
What are
on,
you
hold
trying to
on,
say off of that?
hold on. Can I finish my point? Can you stop cutting me off? Because
Respond to my point.
it's not relevant right now,
No,
is
not
it?
my
No.
point. Respond to my question. Answer my fucking question.
Answer your question.
Yes.
Okay, because I said so. Now what?
Because you said so? Okay,
Mhm.
why does you saying something automatically lend any credence towards the fact that your proposition is more truth tracking than mine, and that your position is more truth tracking than
I
mine?
think having an attestament or a statement to something being true, right, it increases probabilityhood from the fact that it just has
Okay, but I
evidence.
can also make testaments, so why does that matter?
Why are you the same authoritative figure as me?
I didn't claim that. That's a straw
Well,
man.
that's the presupposition is. You said that you can also. Why would it be?
Presupposition. No, I'm saying I can also make these claims. I have the same
Okay,
capability.
that's
So
fine.
why
I
should
think that,
your word have any more credence than mine? Dumbass.
why does
Bitch.
my word have any more credence
Bitch.
than mine? I just put that burden on you.
You're not tracking, bitch.
Stop
I'm
burden
talking about
switching.
why does your word have
Stop
more
burden
credence
switching.
than my word?
Hmm?
It's not a burden shift letter, you retarded. You're the one who makes the fucking
That is a
claim.
burden
If I
shift.
ask
I
you to
put the
prove
burden on you to
something
prove that
entailed
you have
within
a
the
more
claim,
qualification
why the fuck would
or
that be a
equal in your
burden shift?
qualification as
This
to
is
me.
this is debater shit 101. Like, I don't know how you think this is a
I'm
fucking burden
asking
shift,
you.
you're retarded.
I asked you, why do you have equal qualifications or equal credentials?
Okay, you're not tracking.
Hello?
We can move on.
Okay then. So you haven't justified that. I, as a figure, have more evidence, more credence over you, right? Because you haven't presupposed that your justification stands nowhere. I'm just gonna dismiss it because it doesn't
Because it
matter.
literally
And
says
you're
that
gonna
Hikari is
launch
about to like
everything.
throw a
That's
kick at
it.
Arame, and Arame is
So
about
I'll
to like
just we can move from
try to
that point.
block
He's
it.
not
And when
effectively
she
launching.
tries to block it,
So not only that,
when
right?
she tries to
Do you
block
think
it, she
do you
literally
think
like
that
touches it, but she
okay?
still gets hit.
Do you
That
think
implies
do you think
relativity, in my
hold
opinion.
on. Do
Respond
you
to the
think
argument.
hold
Respond
on.
to the argument.
I'm not I'm just gonna dismiss that because that was said while I was trying to talk. So
I
do
don't
you
give a
think
fuck if you were
you're
trying to
more
talk. I was
vulnerable?
trying to move
Yeah,
on to the
okay,
next
you can
point.
have your
I was
fucking just
talking.
listen.
I spoke
I'm just
first. I
listening.
wasn't fucking.
You didn't smoke first. I was literally talking, and you
No,
were
I spoke
talking while I
first.
was speaking. Shut up, nigga.
Nope,
You're acting
you're
like a
not
little child.
tracking. You're not
So anyway,
tracking. Your
his
ass.
body
Shut up,
is
nigga.
more
Your ass.
vulnerable
Shut up,
when
nigga.
he
You're
gets his
retarded.
body
Shut up, nigga.
smashed
You're.
open. So likely he got perception blitzed by that same attack. So we can move on to this one now. That
What
your
did you just
roommate,
say? Wait,
your
what did
roommate
you just
blocked.
say?
I didn't say anything new.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't trust you.
Okay, so I said it, and you said you didn't care about it. So it's just gonna go through with no refutation.
No, I said I didn't care about the thing you said prior, but I want you to repeat the thing you just said now in case
It's
I don't
nothing new.
know.
You didn't care about
If
it.
it's something new, then you can just say like,
It's not
just say
something new.
this, just say this, just say this, just say this. It's not something new. If it is something new, it's not going to be considered for the debate. We're only going to consider the stuff that was said before.
Okay, sure. It's nothing new.
See the rest?
So then now with this
You
panel,
agree to the rest, right?
what?
You agree to the rest of what I said too, right?
Yeah, I said it. It's nothing new. It's something that
Do you
I've
agree to
been
the
saying
rest?
repeatedly, and you
Do you
didn't
agree
care.
to the rest? Okay,
Huh?
do you agree to the rest?
What is it? Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Okay, so then this new panel, or the half of the panel of you blocking the attack or whatever, I just think that she's just kind of surprised by the fact that he's still healing this root like fast. And then even then, it doesn't
You think
even
that's
really show
hindering
her
her
ability by
reaction
itself.
speed? Why would he be so? Why would she be surprised at that? Because literally, she
She
sees him
says
regenerate
that didn't
earlier, so
stop
she would
him
see
with
both the
explanation
speed
for
and the
everything
quality
why
of his
she died.
regeneration.
Huh?
So she saw him regenerate an entire arm before, so she saw both the speed and the quality of the regeneration. So why would she be surprised in this panel?
Why is she so? She says that didn't stop him. She thinks that, she just blown apart his body, that she would be surprised. Not only this, after this, she's like, oh, I get it. You're not like other sorcerers. You're a monster. You just keep going, nigga. You don't care about your body.
Well, regardless of all this, even if she's looking at him and he's not stopped by an attack, Arame, if she isn't like a retard, would pay attention and would be on guard in the off
I
chance
think
that that
she's
attack wouldn't
surprised. I think she's surprised
take him
in this
down.
moment
So
that
I
she's
don't I
still
don't
able to
think
block
her
it.
surprise is really relevant here whatsoever.
Yeah, because surprise meant limits.
Surprise means what limit, man? Is that what you said?
If you're surprised by something, you're gonna react later than if you're not surprised by it.
This isn't cases where like someone's like guard is down. Why would this apply to cases where someone's guard is up?
Do you agree that there's
You cut out.
do you agree that she's surprised?
Okay. I agree she's surprised.
Okay, then
Let me
her
ask you
guard would
this.
also be down based off what I shown earlier.
What? What the fuck? Holy shit. I'm talking about your guard being down in the relevance.
Well, her guard can be up in like a combative sense, but she's still surprised, which will lower her ability
her
to
guard
respond
is up in the
properly.
combative sense. That is the sense in which determines
So
at
she's
which
on
you can
guard for
react
a
to an
fight,
attack.
right?
You
Within
might
this
not be
fight, she's
expecting like someone to
surprised by
throw out a
something, so
big
she's not going
attack,
to respond
but that
as
wouldn't
she was
necessarily
surprised by it.
hinder your reaction speed. If you're combat
It's not like
sense, and
she
if in the
reacts
combat
to it.
sense, if
She
in the
didn't get
combat
blitzed.
sense, she isn't uh
I never
surprised
argued she got
and
blitzed. I
literally
never
or like
argued
off
she
guard,
react
then
to
she's
it.
fine.
I never argued that she couldn't react to it. That's a straw man.
Akari's relative to Arame or he's above Arame off of these panels. That's the argument. You haven't responded to the argument you're asked.
I've responded to it. We can just conclude the whole entire debate right here.
Okay, you got slammed, bitch. I'll say, do you
For
want to give
sure.
your argument for Maki? If you want, you can give it.
Okay, so Hikari has
Just
really
give the
no
whole thing.
skills,
I don't really
but
care. Just give the whole
I
argument.
think that Maki, she scales a higher tier opponents, like has a method
Sorry, what?
I think that she scales the higher tier opponents like Sukuna, right? And I think that what's it called? I think that she has a way to kill him, which is her soul sword Kana, which attacks directly the soul.
Okay, so if these arguments go through, then my premises would lead to the conclusion of Hikari being stronger than Maki. So I would just, if you literally just contradict and defeat everything you just said there, all the claims you just said there, and Sukuna would just be downscaled, so it doesn't matter.
That Maki isn't even the same Maki. I'm the one that you scaled the Yurume.
It's literally stated in the popularity poll that she's still equal to Toji. This implies that she's still equal in strength to
She
Toji.
wasn't
Bad
equal.
ability too. Are you
She
okay?
wasn't equal to Toji at that time.
You're a fucking rat. Watch.
That's not a rat. What the fuck?
That's the biggest rat shit I ever heard.
Everybody,
A fucking rat. You're about to get knocked.
you
You better
won't
get
find a
knocked.
single
You better
person
get
would
knocked.
disagree with what I just said.
You better. Yeah, everyone's gonna disagree with what you just said. You're retarded.
Not one person would disagree with what I just said. That this Maki is not the strongest Maki.
You're
Not one.
a fucking rat.
She
I'll show
literally
you.
trains with the sumo guy. Gets like I forgot the word for it.
The sumo
but
guy is
she
way
gets
before
enlightened.
this. It's way before this.
It's
You are
way before
retarded.
her fighting Maguna.
Yes.
Oh, I might be tripping then. Isn't?
So do you agree that she's equal then? She's like this version
No, I
is
don't.
equal to
I don't know.
Shinjuku, Maki, or whatever. This is chapter 196. And the Maki we talked about is from 215 when I claimed that Maki got blessed by ramen. So do you agree that the one that we see in 215 is equal to whatever prime version of Maki you think there is?
No, I'm just trying to.
You think there's a stronger version of Maki? Which is
I'm
what version is
just
that
trying
and
to.
why?
I'm just trying to find what chapter this happened
This
to see
happens
if it's
in
before or not.
198. I'll literally show it to you.
Two 13 or something around there.
Anyways, let's skip humor. Damn. Mega aired me. What the fuck?
Okay, yeah. I just found it happened 215. Just got enlightened like 190 something. All right. So then, I think that Let's
Do you think
see.
that there is a stronger version of Maki? If so, which version and why?
Oh, yeah, so she fights with Maguna, and they go relative, like 215 fight, right? There's like this point where they're both fighting each other, and they're both
215?
changing.
This is literally the version I mentioned in the panels.
Okay,
So
so
is there a
then
stronger version than the
can
ones I
I finish
mentioned
what
in
I
the
was saying, or are you
panels
just gonna keep
of
talking?
215 and why?
Yeah, I was just explaining. So she goes relative with that Maguna, right? That Maguna gets stronger when he turns Sukuna, he gets like faster and shit. And then she's also able to have comparable feats when fighting him. So it would
When
just
fighting the one
assume
in
that she got
Shinjuku?
faster.
When fighting the one in Shinjuku?
Yeah.
That Sukuna has soul damage. He has soul boundary damage. He has stamina drain, a lot of stamina drain. He
Could
has curse
you
energy loss.
could you
He
prove
has a
that
lot of
makes him
physical
slower?
damage.
Could you prove that makes him slower than 15?
I mean, if it's either the Maki is still equal to Toji in the popularity poll, which comes out during Shinjuku, then
Okay.
that literally implies that that would make him as fast as that version of the Guna.
Okay then. So I simply believe, right, that the popularity poll made the popularity poll.
Gege. Gege made the
Okay.
fucking
So
popularity
then
poll.
is the popularity poll within the manga?
No.
Okay. So I think that it's external to the manga, so it'd have no, especially if that
Why?
doesn't happen in the actual manga, or that's
Why
contradicted
would a
with something in the manga.
popularity poll based on stuff in the actual
Like
manga
if Gege, hold on,
not have any
let me ask you
relevance
a question. Let
or
me ask you a question. Let me ask you.
reliability?
If Gege said, right, there is not one panel in Jujutsu Kaisen where Yuji does not have hair, right? Or where there's no panel in Jujutsu Kaisen where Yuji has hair, right? Would that be true?
There isn't a panel where he has hair. That wouldn't be true. But
That would be
problem
true.
is that's not
There's
analogous
so
if
if
you're
he
trying to make a
says
one
right, if no no no, if he says right that there is no panel of Yuji having hair within the manga, is that true?
No, that's not true.
Okay then. So if a author says something, right, and something in the manga goes against that notion, that statement does not defeat what happens in the manga.
This is a begging the question fallacy.
That's not begging the question.
Why the fuck is that version of Sukuna stronger?
How was that begging the question?
You're presupposing your conclusion when I already brought up stuff to go against your
Okay,
conclusion,
I
or why your
said my
conclusion would
conclusion is
necessarily
based
follow
off
or likely
the
follow.
statements, right?
So
I
why would
said
it be wrong?
that statement doesn't debunk shit that happens in the actual manga. You said if that happened, right, then because of this
Okay,
statement,
prove
that's
this.
wrong.
Sukuna has
I said
better
that
scaling
statement has
whatsoever.
no governance on what actually happens.
Okay, cool. Can you prove that this version of Sukuna in Shinjuku is stronger than Megumi?
Is stronger than Maguna. He gets a massive Chris energy boost. He gets stronger from the fingers, and
Chris
he's
energy boost
just
from what? Oh wait, Chris energy boost from what?
from when he becomes like the true form Sukuna. He gets a way stronger body. He stated to
How
die
does
faster.
true form give him more Chris energy? What?
It says that his Chris energy rises 3 times.
It rises in 3 times? What?
It rises 3 times the amount of Yuta. Or like it rises to an amount that's 3 times the amount that Yuta has.
No. So what you're talking about is when Yuta says, I think Sukuna has at least double my Curse energy based off of pure
No, that's not what I'm
intuition.
talking about.
And that's when we're talking about
That's
Meguna
not what
when
I'm
we fight
talking about. So
Gojo.
just let me
What are you
find the
talking
panel.
about? Show me that. Show me that. Yeah, show me that.
Okay.
Show me any statement about true form Sukuna having 3 times the Curse energy of Yuta. I'd love to see that.
Okay. Do you remember the chapter?
Chapter for what? That statement doesn't
When
exist.
he
I don't
turns
think it's in
into
any chapter.
I said for when he turns into his true form.
237 at the end.
That's a long strip.
These niggas are low tiers, low tiers.
Maybe I'm just remembering a different translation, but regardless, he still stated to have gone faster from 20 finger Maguna, and that he, gets faster from, or he gets stronger from each finger, which he's at a higher finger amount, and he gets faster than he does at 20 fingers.
So the version that fights Maki is stated to be faster than 20 finger Mikuna.
True fingers, true form
That was
in
the statement.
Sukuna, right, is stated to be faster than 20 finger Maguna.
The one that fights Maki, show that.
Yeah, so do you remember, do you think Yuji seeing 20 finger Maguna fight?
Yeah, but show the statement
Okay,
or
then,
whatever
so
evidence.
then, so then would he have a knowledge on how fast 20 finger Maguna is?
Probably.
Okay. All right. So Sukuna's running, right? And he says he's too fast, right? Which would imply, right, according to Yuji's knowledge, right, he's too fast than what he should be. Because then there's an
Why can't this just
expectation
be
of how,
him? Why can't this just be Yuji saying that Sukuna's too fast for Yuji to keep up with?
because then he just wouldn't say two. He would just say he's fast. And it'll be referencing to in comparison to himself. He says you're too fast, which means he would be going beyond the expectation.
Why? Why is that the case? Why does the usage of the word "to" there support that at all?
Okay, I could just get the definition of two.
This is some of the worst communication ever. So 2 is literally just a higher degree. Can literally just be a higher degree than Yuji.
Why then what is this desirable, permissible, or possible?
Okay.
So
We
under
could use the word permissible. We could use the word permissible there and be like he's too fast because in context it's too fast to permit Yuji to keep up.
that doesn't even make sense because he can also just be shit.
This is fucking horrible. Oh my god, this guy's so fucking gross. I'm just gonna say the